Thank you. Hello. Yep. So, are we doing footprints? Just okay. We have so far, let's see how much we have covered. In first slide, we have done lesson 1, lesson 2, tiger and the zoo bhi ho gaya? Nahi hua? Okay, then let's do tiger and the zoo. I have done it in exam. Exam was 2 days. So you know tiger and the zoo. No, footprint is going on. Just trying to good chapters are completing. So we'll quickly do these 2 chapters. It will be a good revision for you. Or should we do these 2 chapters later? Huh? We'll do it later. So since you have done it recently, we can't leave them. We can't just leave them. So we'll do it later. So since footprints without feet is going on in the school, should we do that? Or we can go to stories about flying also. Chalo, let's do footprints without feet. The next week, then your teachers will rush with that. No, the exam is going to end tomorrow. Then we will get the notes from the 3rd chapter, the midnight visitor. Oh, so midnight visitor is not done yet, no? Then let's do midnight visitor.
After that footprints, well, let's just like read the footprints.
That's fine. The midnight visitor. Okay.
The shortest chapter.
It's a very nice suspense story. So I don't like to tell the story because it's more fun when you read it. Possible, the secret agent is expecting to get a very important report. Another secret agent, Max, threatens him with a pistol, demanding the report. So here, Possible did not fit any description of a secret agent Follower had ever read. So there are three characters. One is Follower, one is this Possible, a secret agent, and a third person who was another secret agent. Okay? So following him down the musty corridor of the gloomy French hotel, where Possible had a room, Follower felt let down. It was a small room on the sixth and the top floor, and scarcely a setting for a romantic adventure. Now, Fowler he was a journalist. He was following Possible, and he wanted to see how the secret life of what kind of a life do secret agents live. And you must have seen James Bond movies or when we see movies, these secret agents are usually such dashing people, good looking, dashing, using different gadgets, and having this very dynamic personality. And when he saw Possible, he did not look like that at all. Plus, the room where he lived was a small room in a hotel with musty corridors. Like you see James Bond, movies posh in a hotel, staying, driving a fancy car, nothing of that.
Secret agents do. They like something, but they do them.
Yeah. So and therefore he felt very let down. Like क्या है यार कुछ भी नहीं है जैसे सोचा था वैसे. Possible was for one thing fat, very fat, and then there was this accent. Though he spoke French and German passably, he had never altogether lost the American accent he had brought to Paris from Boston 20 years ago. So he was no way that good looking, thin, well-built person who he assumed secret agents are. He was fat, very fat. And though he spoke German and French, he had the proper American accent. So whoever heard him knew he's come from US.
You are disappointed. Possible said busily over the shoulder. You were told that I was a secret agent, a spy, dealing in espionage and danger. You wish to meet me because you are rather young and romantic. You envision Mistress Pickles in the night, the crack of pistols, drugs in the bar. Instead, you have spent a dull evening in a French music hall with a sloppy fire piano instead of happy messages, slipped into a stand by dark-eyed beauties. It's only a closing telephone call making an appointment in his room. You have been born the fat man chuckled to himself as along the door of his room and stood aside to let his frustrated guest and enter.
So he also will realize that this author, he is little frustrated. He thought they will sit in the hotel, some beautiful girls pass this chips to his hand, and that's how they pass the message. He never got such a thing. He only got one phone call, and then they said, "Okay, fine, we'll meet you in the hotel room, in my room," and that's all happened in the hotel. So he unlocks the door and lets him enter.
You are the illusion of Sybil's told him, but take cheer, my young friend. Presently you will see a paper, a quite important paper, for which several men and women have mixed their lips. Come to me, some place in that paper may affect the history in that thought is drama. Is that not? As he spoke, a Sybil closed the door behind him, then they switched on the light.
Okay. So he said, but take cheer, be happy. What was he going to get? A paper. And how do you know that paper was important? Because he says several men and women have risked their lives, okay, to get that paper. But and that paper has come to him. He has got that paper. So he said, and that paper he says will affect the course of history. The paper might affect the course of history. No, he says, isn't that drama? Isn't that enough of drama that you're getting to see some important paper which will change the course of history?
As the light came on, Fowler had his first autumn victory of the day. For halfway across the room, a small automatic pistol in his hand stood a man, possible fibbling a few. Max, he whispered. You gave me a quiet start. I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing here in Berlin?
What did what did follow see? As soon as he switched on. Sorry?
Authentic, like amazing scene which happened.
Yeah, what is that amazing scene?
Like that pistol was held in the hand of Sydney.
Okay, so he saw that there was a man standing with an automatic pistol in his hand. Like a man he saw when they opened the door to the room. What did they see? A man standing with an automatic pistol in his hand. What was his name?
Max.
Max.
Max was slender, a little less than tall, with features that suggested slightly the crafty, pointed countenance of a fox. There was about him, aside from the gun, nothing especially menacing. The report he murmured. The report that is being brought to you tonight concerning some new mishap. I thought I would take it from you. It will be safer in my hands than in yours.
Okay, what was the paper about? The paper was a report about missiles.
Sybil moved to an armchair and sat down. I am going to raise the devil with the management this I make them better, he said to me. This is the second time in a month that somebody has got into my room through that nuisance of a balcony. Paula's eye went to the single window of the room. It was an ordinary window against which the light was pressing black.
So, Oswald went and sat and he was upset. He said he will raise a devil. To raise a devil means he will complain very strongly. What was he going to complain to the management?
That this is second time this month that somebody has entered his room.
It was second time in that month that somebody has
entered into a room through the balcony.
Through the balcony. So this is the second time happening. Somebody is entering the room through balcony.
Balcony. Max said, with a rising inflection. No, a past. I didn't know about the balcony. It might have saved me some trouble. It's not my balcony. Or Sybil said with extreme irritation. It belongs to the next apartment. He glanced explanatory at her. You see, he said, this room used to be a part of a large room. And the next room, through that door there, used to be the living room. It had the balcony which extends under my window now. You can get onto it from the empty room closed down, and somebody did last night. The management promised me to knock it off, but they haven't.
So he says, oh, I did not come through the balcony. Had Max come through the balcony? How had he come?
Like the rooms, other rooms which are there.
Does he say that? He came from the then? No, he says he used the pass key. He said no. He used the pass key. He used another key. He says, no, I did not come through the balcony. I used a pass key. So Yes. Had I known that there is a balcony, it would have saved a lot of trouble for me. So he explains, no, it is not my balcony. It is the next belongs to the next apartment. He says it was a big room. This big room was divided into two rooms, but that balcony still extends in, under his room, and therefore somebody also entered his room through that balcony last month.
Max glanced at Paula, who was standing stiffly not far from us, and waved the gun with a commanding gesture. Please sit down, he said. We will have a wait of half an hour, I think. 31 minutes, or Sybil said Moody. The appointment was for 12:30. I wish I knew how you learned about the report, Max. The little smiled at me, and we wish we knew how your people got that report. But no harm has been done. I will get it back tonight. What is that? Who is at the door?
Probably they hear the knock. Raj, what is that? Who's at the door?
Paula jumped at the sudden looking at the door. A cigar just smiled. That will be the police, he said. I thought that such an important paper as the one we are waiting for should have a little extra protection. I told them to keep check on him to make them sure everything was all right. Max bit his lip nervously. The notice was repeated. What will you do now, Max? Percival asked. If I do not answer the door, they will enter anything. The door is unlocked and they will not hesitate to shoot. Max's face was black with anger as he backed swiftly towards the window. He swung a lamp over the sill. Send them away, he warned. I will wait out on the balcony. Send them away, or I will shoot and take my chances. Okay. So he hears the knocking. Okay. So he asks who's there. Who was there outside? Police. The police. He says, why had he called the police? To keep a check on the important document. Because Fowler was getting an important document, and therefore he suspected that there can be some trouble. Therefore, he had asked them to asked them to check on him. Okay, check on him, check on him. So, and therefore they had come and they were knocking the door. But Mr. See, if I don't open the door, they will break the door open and they will fire. So what does Max do? Max decides to hide. Where does he hide? In the back. The knocking at the door became louder and voice was raised. Mr. Osborne, Mr. Osborne. Keeping his body put straight so that his gun still covered the back man and his guest. The man at the window grasped a frame within his free hand to support himself. Then he swung his other leg up and over the window sill. The doorknob turned. Swiftly Max pushed with his left hand to free himself from the sill and drop to the balcony. And then, as he dropped, he screamed once, shriek. The door opened and a waiter stood there. You understood so far what happened? He kept the gun in his hand. He was, see, this is how he was. And then, with another hand, because there was knocking, he jumped from there. And as he swiftly pushed himself away from the windowsill, and as he dropped from the balcony, as he jumped from the balcony, he gave a loud, shrill shout. He screamed. The door opened and a waiter stood there with a drink, a bottle, and two glasses. Here is the drink you ordered when you returned, he said, and set the tray on the table. Deftly uncorked the bottle and let it. White-faced Paula stayed after him, but he stammered. The police? There were no police, possible sign. Only Henry, who I was expecting. But won't that man out on the balcony for nothing? No, said Austin. He won't return. You see, my young friend, there is no balcony. Yeah, from a sixth floor he jumped, assuming there's a balcony. And he got killed. Now you can see this. So you don't have to be dashing, well built to be a secret agent. You need to be smart. That's the story. I like this lesson a lot. It's very interesting.
Do you have your, okay. This will be in which book? Of volume 3. I have only volume 1 and 2. Okay, show what do you have here? You do question 1. Okay. Question 1 and 2. That's it. I'll come with the this. I asked some questions that you will need. Page number
170.
tell me the answers. Okay. Who is Oscar?
Possible to secret agent.
Was. She was a secret agent. To whom is who was accompanying him?
Follow.
Who was follow?
And a young woman.
How is Oscar different from others of his class?
Possible was a very kind person.
And he lived in a room.
Which had musty corners.
Yes, in a hotel room with a musty corners. So there was no thrilling adventure. Name the languages mentioned in the. What languages did he know?
French, German, and English.
Who was Max?
Max was another secret agent.
Very good. Why had he come to Oswald's room?
To steal the important papers.
That Oswald was about to get. What he did is thereafter, he threatened Oswald with a
His automatic.
what word means cunning? Crafty. Okay. Which word describes Max physique? How did Max, what was Max physique? Like,
Crafty.
he was slender and crafty features. He was slender and hard, crafty features. It's cunning. Chelsea cunning Vitra.
Who was there at the door? Wait.
Okay. What frightened Max?
The knock at the door.
The knock at the door.
When Ossible said that.
Police. Very good. A knock at the door. When Ossible said the police were knocking the door, that meant they were up. And when they turned the knob to enter the room, it frightened Max. Was there a balcony? No. Why was Ossible disturbed? Or what was he complaining about?
Ossible was complaining about the punishment as the last month only.
He complained that twice the strangers had entered his room through the balcony. What story did Ossible cook up to confuse Max?
That Ossible who the story for confusing Max that there was a balcony under his room,
Under his window,
under his window.
and that was being used by people to enter his room. Give you a few questions. Okay? Right. Okay. What was the most astonishing quality of possible?
That when Max entered the room, he was very calm and silent. He was not scared, but he was very irritated by the management.
Okay. So you will write that Osable was an intelligent secret agent. He was alert and resourceful. He was cool-headed person. When Max pointed a gun at Osable, he remained calm and forced Max to believe uh, that there is a balcony under his room and showed great presence of mind. Okay, so you know what you will do? You will write the answer from the book. So page number 120. I'll use your pencil. Page 120. So, he was a cool-headed person and had a lot of presence of mind. When he remained calm and forced believe that there's a balcony. That's it. That's it. Okay. This will be the answer for the first one. So whenever there are qualities about Osable, this is what you will write. Okay. What was the important paper that Osable talks about?
Was that the pastor possible was an secret. It was an important work. So the important paper which he was talking about
Was about the
role of science.
yes. How does okay? First write these two answers, then we'll do the third. Done? Now, how does Oswald manage to make Max believe that there was a balcony attached to his room?
First, he complained about
So first you will write Oswald was a same like calm, cool-headed, intelligent agent. Okay. Okay. So first that is the line. Then Max had entered Oswald's room to take the important paper containing information about has come to his room to take the paper. Uh, okay, information about important missiles. Oswald cooked up a story. Oswald, okay, when he saw Max, instead of getting scared, he pretended to get upset. Pretended to get upset about and about uh, as upset. Okay? He cooked up a story to complain to the management as it was the second time a stranger had entered his room through the balcony. Okay, then
he would say that there was a balcony.
he then narrated how the original big room was split into two, divided into two, and how the balcony connects the balcony that is outside his window connects to the next apartment. Okay. Okay. Thus Oswald made Max believe. Just will you be able to write? So first you will write that he was a cool-headed person, had a presence of mind. Then you will write how Max had entered the room, and then how he got irritated when he saw Max and not afraid. He said he would raise a complaint with the management as so he cooked up a story that he will raise a complaint as second time a stranger had entered the room through the balcony. Uh, then what would you say? And he also explained how the big room was split into two rooms, and therefore the balcony under his window connects to the next apartment. Will you write? Good job.
Right now.
Huh? What did you write?
Possible was an intelligent, alert, and a secret agent. Max had entered his room through a pass key and had came to steal the important papers regarding the recognition of some service. When Possible without getting scared, he was a little upset. He said that he would raise a table for a complaint against the management, as it was the second time someone has entered the field to the balcony. For which Marx claimed that he entered through a passkey and not through the balcony because he didn't know about it. Silver then said that this room was used to be a part of a large unit and the next room was to be a big room. It had a balcony which was extending to this room window now, and now it is connected to the next apartment. This is how Oswald managed to make Max believe that there was a balcony attached.
Why did Oswald frame the story of the balcony? I will see. So Oswald knew that Max was not a very smart secret agent. He was also ill-prepared. Okay, he was also ill-prepared. And he therefore decided to frame him and trick him to jump outside the window. For that, he cooked up a story of a balcony that is attached to his room. He also, when the door knocked, but when they heard the knocking of the door, he also cooked up a story about the arrival of the police to check on him. Okay, to check on him. And thus, he confused Max, made him believe there's a balcony, and made him jump out of it to escape from the police. Okay? कुछ समझा? याद रहेगा? Tell me. Why did Oswald frame the story of the balcony?
Oswald framed the story of the balcony to make.
See, हम लोग पहले क्या लिखेंगे हर क्वेश्चन में बड़े आंसर पे पहले लिखेंगे Oswald was a intelligent okay, and intelligent and he headed secret agent. Max was not as intelligent and well prepared as possible. Okay? So possible, when Oswald saw him in the room, he decided to trick him. Yeah. He also about the balcony which attached to his room, which was attached to his room. Fake story about
standing in the road where it was the glitter with the
yes. And thus, he made he scared. No, he scared Max. The Oswald scared Max and made him jump out of the window to run away from police. So that he doesn't get caught by the police. याद रखोगे? लिखना
question लिखते कैसे आंसर.
Okay. Why did Oswald frame the story of the balcony? Okay. Should we read the next lesson? The stories about flying?
It will finish.
No, it will not. I don't know, it will not. We'll have to continue in the next lesson, of course. No, What to do? You want to read? Page 22.
His first flight.
Hmm.
The young seagull was alone. Seagull was alone on his beach. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward the bridge of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched out below, and it was such a long way down, miles to he felt uncertain, but certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little wood under the ledge where he slept at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sisters, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew on. He failed to muster up courage to take that which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother
Had come around.
yes, come around, calling to him surely, upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move.
Okay. Understood what happened? This is a story of a seagull. So this seagull, he lives on the ledge, on a mountain. Okay? So the part that comes in the ocean is sea. Now what is he trying to do? He's trying to fly. But he's too scared of the far wide expanse of the water, the sea. His younger brothers, sisters, though their wings are small, they are all flying. But this bird just cannot muster the courage to fly. He doesn't have the confidence that he'll be able to fly. His parents also come, shout at him shrilly, upbraiding him, threatening him. They will leave you here, will not give you food. To starve on the ledge because he's the only one on the ledge. The rest all are flying. But for the life of him, he could not move. He's too afraid to move.
That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody
Had come near him.
The day before, all day long, he watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sisters, perfecting them in the art of flying, teaching them how to skin the waves and how to dive for fish. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first children and river, standing on a rope, and his parents circled around, raising a proud flag. On all the morning, the whole family had walked up the big factory midway down the opposite cliff, competing with his paradise. The sun was now ascending the sky. Gazing on the stretch that faced the south, he felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous lifetime. He stepped down out to the brink of the ledge, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wings, he closed one eye, then the other.
Okay, wait. Do we have time to read the whole thing? You understood so far what happened? So that was 24 hours. Then the parents came and nudged him and asked him to come near him and asked him to, come, let's go. So next 24 hours, nobody bothered to see him. Okay, what did he see? What were the parents doing?
They were teaching the younger brothers and the sisters how to how to learn the art of flying.
Yes.
How to catch the
Catch the fish, how to swim to the waves, fly on the waves. And how he also saw his older brother catch the first herring. That's a fish. Okay, catch the first herring and devour it. They eat it, enjoy it. And then his parents like circled around and crowd, cackle, cheered for him. And the whole morning, all the morning, the whole family had walked about on a big plateau. There was a big plateau, so they were all there, and he was only one on the ledge. Now the sun was descending in the sky. It was night time, and he felt the heat because he had not eaten his previous night before. Okay, almost for 24 hours he had not eaten. Now he stepped slowly out to the brink, matlab edge, came to the edge of the ledge, standing with one leg, with the other hidden there. He closed his eye, then the other. He tried to close his eye and then he thought maybe he'll close his eyes and fly and pretended to be falling asleep. Still they took no notice of him. Like, ऐसे edge पे आके सोने की कोशिश की उसने, ताकि parents will think अरे अरे गिर जाएगा, जरा संभालो इसको. But nobody took notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into the legs. His father was preening the feathers and his white back. What were the brothers and sister doing? They were sleeping on the ground. Father was cleaning his feathers. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. Now and again, she tore a piece of fish that lay at her feet, then scratched each side of her beak on the rock. A sight of the food maddened him. How he loved to eat tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. Wet it means to sharpen it. The mother was rubbing the beak against the rock and then breaking the piece of a fish and eating. He had not eaten for 24 hours. He would have loved to eat something. The sight of food maddened him. Ka, 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 he cried, begging her to bring him some food. See,
Walk on far and walk on fast, she screamed down. There is a group, but
angry. There is a means angry.
but he kept calling plaintively, and after a moment, he uttered a joyful. His mother had picked up a fish of the fish and was very close to him. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to Ashi Miracles, but when she was just opposite to him, she heard. Her wings motionless, the piece of the fish in the beak almost within reach of his beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she didn't come him, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish with a loud scream. He fell outwards and downwards in his face. Then a murderous terror seized him and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment he felt his neck spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast.
Okay, remaining will be later. Will you remember this part, this much part? So next time we'll read from page 35. Okay. The next lesson is also very interesting. I like that black aeroplane. Bye. See you next week. Guys, Ali is ready. Nice. Oh. अच्छा साथ में studies. अभी पति है ना just very. You look very normal. We don't need this, so I'll return them. Have your friends some? They're not outside, no?
भाई मेरा 85% हो 81 से 85। ठीक है, औकात में। भाई तुम्हारा इतना मस्त बना ना पीपीटी, देख के चौक जाएगा। ओए ये देख, मैं स्टिल तेरे को दिखाऊंगी। भाई ये व्हाइट वाला पार्ट क्यों? भाई ये मेरा है। स्कॉलर से स्कॉलर ना इसमें शिफ्ट करना है। तो किसको लिख रहा है? ये और नोट्स बना रहा है ये। फिर आपने ये चला गया स्लो खरीद तो खरीदा नहीं, मैं तो आपने लगा तो नहीं आया तो मैंने खरीद तो खरीद लेता ना। हमें बहुत खरीदी बहुत तो हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल। मुझे को कहाँ थे लास्ट? अरे वो खत्म किया था हमने कुछ वाला। अरे उसके पप्पा जी नीचे आ रहे थे ना, ड्रंकिंग ओल्ड बेगर्स बहुत सारे। अरे हाँ ये इधर है। अरे ये पब्लिक हाउस, हाँ ये इधर, ये खत्म किए थे जस्ट। हाँ ये ड्रंकिंग ओल्ड बूढ़ा गरीब भाई। हेलो हेलो। You are मिस्टर मिसेस कुछ याद है? हाँ क्या पढ़ा था? हाँ you remember? Yes.
Okay. We are on which page now?
148.
Okay. So can you tell me who are the who all are the characters?
हम उसके पहले वो जो इंग्लिश का टेस्ट था ना,
हाँ.
उसमें मैंने वो जो 8 मार्कर का क्वेश्चन था ना कि वो फॉर जीनियस सोसाइटी, मैंने पूरा वो लिखा था। तो उसके लिए मेरे को बस 3 मार्क मिले थे कि वो पूरा कि क्या क्या हुआ था स्टोरी में। कि वो स्टार्टिंग में
पेपर क्वेश्चन पेपर है।
हाँ फिर हमने बस 3 मार्क्स दिया, 8 मार्क्स पिक्चर
दिखा दो मुझे तुमने क्या लिखा था और क्वेश्चन क्या था।
आंसर शीट तो
नेक्स्ट टाइम लेके आना तो मैं बता दूँ।
हाय
कैरी yeah, these answers you should write in the full sentence ना।
हम लेकिन वो आरटीसी थे, रेफरेंस टू कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम लोग फुल सेंटेंस नहीं लिखते।
लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है एक्चुअली।
हम वही
तो ये मार्क्स तो कर
किसके so how much did you get for this? This question was for 8 marks. लेकिन अभी question तो बताओ क्या था? So this is about two gentlemen of Verona. How does the story Two Gentlemen of Verona promise hope for the society?
नॉट द स्टोरी।
Promise hope for the society. How does it promise hope for the society?
कि उनने ये
बहुत हार्ड वर्किंग थे, बहुत हेल्पिंग थे और वो बहुत
We have written this answer.
हमने ये बोला था कि पूरा स्टोरी का
हाँ लेकिन वो लास्ट में क्या लिखो
कि they had
so they were hard working, they were ready to, they were not for themselves, they were working hard for the to take care of the sister. So their passion, their dedication towards the sister, ये सब आना चाहिए।
तो उसके लिए थोड़ी ना 5 मार्क कटेंगे,
तो इसके लिए 5 मार्क नहीं कटेगा।
उसके लिए दो मार्क कटते हैं तो समझ में भी आता है।
The two gentlemen of Verona promise hope for the society because the two boys in Verona had gone through, had went through it. Grammatical error के लिए
हम लेकिन वही तो बात नहीं की है।
हाँ लेकिन वो होना चाहिए। Had gone through a lot. They worked day and night by the gone through a lot का मतलब क्या है? 8 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है भाई। So gone through a lot मतलब क्या? So you have to write what had they gone through.
अरे वही तो लिखा है, लास्ट को उतना बड़ा समय तो लिखा हुआ
They
है।
work day and night by running errands. So he will write that they had no home. They had lost their home in the Second World War. They had no parents. They only had a sister, which she was diagnosed with.
के ऊपर पूरा साइन
Yes,
फिर ये भी लिखा
which
कि वो
needed
क्या क्या
treatment,
करते थे उनका
which needed treatment in the hospital. To pay for her hospital bills, they worked day and night. They ran errands to shoe. Okay, they ran errands. They shine. They sold fruits, sold newspapers, etc. The boys were shabby, so wore shabby torn clothes just to pay for his sister. Okay. So तुमने ना सिर्फ एक ही सजेशन कि ये है ना थोड़ा बाद में आना चाहिए। ये पहले स्टोरी लिखी है, तुमने सब लिखा है। Then they did this. So this gives us, this tells us that the children were they were patriotic and they were dedicated towards their sister. Their love and dedication, dedication gives us hope that the society, that people are still kind hearted. Okay, तो तुम ये लाइन सेंटेंस यहाँ पे लिख दो. Analysis मतलब क्या? तो ये एक लाइन आना चाहिए. Okay, you have written well.
मतलब इसको दिमाग नहीं करना चाहिए ना 3 से
हाँ, थोड़ा 3 से ज्यादा बचना चाहिए.
5 एटलीस्ट.
4.5. ओके, क्योंकि 8 आउट ऑफ 8 तो नहीं देगा क्लासेस में, तो कोई नहीं देगा, फिर तुम तो बहुत ही परफेक्ट बन गए ना. तो ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स के लिए भी तुम्हारे मार्क्स हैं. एंड डोंट एक्सपेक्ट 8 आउट ऑफ 8. 4.5 तो डेफिनेटली, बट राइट डाउन दैट one that the children were
और
patriotic.
अगर वो लाइन लिखते हैं जो आप बोल रही हो
तो
तो
6.
6.
हाँ, 2 मार्क्स तो वैसे भी आउट ऑफ 8 कटेंगे, वो तुम मानो. यहाँ पे, यहाँ, ओके, तुम्हारे बोर्ड में शायद तुमको 1 कट सकता है, अगर यहाँ पे 8 आउट ऑफ 8 तो तुमको कभी नहीं मिलेगा, कितना भी अच्छा लिखो. ओके,
मतलब इंग्लिश में किसी को फुल मिलेगा ही नहीं.
हाँ, इंग्लिश में यूजुअली फुल नहीं देते.
क्यों?
ग्रामेटिकल मिस्टेक.
ग्रामेटिकल मिस्टेक.
शेक्सपियर लिखा था.
सो वहां पे
6
याद रखना, राइट अबाउट the children were patriotic, children were dedicated. Okay, the children were patriotic, children were dedicated. Their dedication and love and sacrifice for their sister.
Now what is the spelling of patriotic?
The children were patriotic, patriotic,
Patriotic.
patriotic, as they fought against Germans.
तो तुमने वो वाला सीन नहीं लिखा.
लिखा था, लेकिन एंड में कल्मिनेशन के लिए उनकी वैल्यूज लिखने. Their love, dedication and sacrifice for their sister gives us hope for the society. ये एक लाइन याद रखोगे ना?
Yes.
Do you remember? Love, dedication and sacrifice for their sister gives us hope for the society. Okay, now in this play, tell me the characters.
Mr. Jordan, Mrs. Jordan, Mr. Slater, Mrs. Slater.
Okay, so who was Henry?
Henry was
Mrs. Slater's husband. Who was Ben? Mrs. Jordan's
Jordan's
husband. Who was Victoria?
Mrs. Jordan.
Victoria was
Mr.
Mr. and Mrs. Slater's daughter.
Daughter.
Okay, what was the name of grandfather?
Albert.
Abel Merivale. Okay, why had the sisters come together?
Because Papa.
Tell me in English.
Because their father had.
Okay, father had died. Who had informed that the father has died? Mrs. Slater had informed Mrs. Jordan. Okay, and why did she think he's dead?
His body was cold and he wasn't responding.
Yes, his body was cold and he wasn't responding. Had they called the doctor to confirm?
No.
No. So what did she do when she realized that the father is dead? What did she first do? She removed the,
All these things and.
Favorite things in her life.
yeah, so one was the watch, the clock. Okay, she took the clock from his father and the chest of drawers. The chest of drawers from his room. Okay, then
Table two.
chest of drawers मतलब ही table ना, chest of drawer बोला है ना, या table बोला है. हाँ. Then she also took his new
Chappal.
slippers and asked her husband Henry to use it. Okay, अभी हम कहाँ पे थे?
Ben, he turned to old beggar.
So they thought that in the morning where her grandfather had gone, pay the insurance money. But then Victoria says that he never went to pay the money. Where did he go instead?
A bar.
To the public house.
Um,
To the public house. Okay.
Pub.
So to the Ringo Bell. The name of the bus? Public house लिख देना. Pub is the short form of actually public house. But you will but you will not write pub. It's a very modern word and stick to the language given words given here. So it is public house. Okay. Public house is where you have music and drinks. So, okay, the drunken old Ben. Who's Ben here? Your Ben? Mrs. Jordan?
Mrs. Clare.
Page number 148. Okay.
मैं कौन हूँ?
Mrs. Slater.
Ben,
The drunken old.
the drunken old beggar. So the Ben is upset क्या वो insurance का पैसा भरने से गया Ringo Bell में. Ringo Bell the public house. Okay. A drunken old beggar. This is Jordan. You're next.
He's done it on purpose, just to annoy us.
After all I've done for him, having to put up with him in the house these 3 years, it's nothing short of spending.
I had to put up with him for 5 years.
And you were trying to turn him over to us all the time.
But we don't know for certain that he's not paid the premium.
Okay. So now they are all upset because they thought that he instead of paying the premium he went to the public house. So Mrs. Jordan says he has done it on purpose. Both the daughters are angry. I've been, we've been supporting him for last 3 years. She said, oh, I've supported him for 5 years. And after that, this is what he's doing. So Henry says, but we don't know now for certain whether that he has not paid his premium. Henry.
I do. It's come over me all at once that he hasn't.
Victoria, run upstairs and fetch that bunch of keys that's on your grandpa's dressing table.
In grandpa's room,
Yes.
I don't like to.
Don't talk so silly. There is no one who can actually hurt you. We'll see if we lock the receipt in the bureau.
In where? In this thing?
He rises and examines it.
Where did you pick that up, Amelia? It's new since last I was there.
Oh, Henry picked it up one day.
Okay, you understood what they are talking about?
जो नया one.
Yeah, जो नया वाला. So she says, oh, Henry picked it up one day.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Jordan.
It's
Artistic.
artistic. Did you buy it at an auction?
Eh, where did I buy it, Amelia?
Yes.
Where did I buy it, Amelia? Now, Henry को क्या मालूम कहाँ से लिया? वो तो उसने Amelia has asked him to bring grandfather's.
हाँ, अरे Henry क्यों नहीं बोला grandfather's room?
ऐसे कैसे वो बोल देगा wife के against?
Okay.
Yes, at an auction.
Oh, second hand.
Don't show your ignorance, Ben. All artistic things are second-hand. Look at those old masters.
Mother,
What is it, child?
grandpa is getting what?
What do you say?
Grandpa is getting
The child's crazy.
Don't talk so silly. Don't you think your grandpa's dead?
no, he is getting I saw him.
They are transfixed with amazement. Ben and Mrs. Jordan left off table. Victoria clings to Mrs. Plater. Right off table, Henry near fireplace.
You did better.
You would
Better go up and see yourself, Amelia.
Here, come with me, Henry.
Henry draws back terrified.
Listen.
They look at the door. A slight chuckling is heard outside. The door opens, revealing an old man clad in a faded but gay dressing gown. He is in his stockinged feet. Although over 70, he is vigorous and well colored. His bright, malicious eyes twinkle under his heavy reddish grey eyebrows. He is obviously either grandfather Abel Merryweather or else his goose. What do they see? They see this grandfather coming down. Okay, he was wearing this, you can say that stockings and dressing gown, and he had this mischievous twinkle in his eyes. Who will be able?
What?
Yeah, will be
What's the matter with little Vicky? Hello, what brings you here? How's yourself, Ben?
Mrs.
Grandfather, is that you?
able. Well. He's okay. Abel thrusts his hand at Ben, who skipped back smartly and retreats to a safe distance behind the sofa. He tries to shake hand, वो डर के पीछे ही चला जाता है सोफे के. Okay, this is later.
Mrs.
Of course, it's me. Don't do that, Amelia. What the devil do you mean by this tomfoolery?
Tomfoolery, foolish behavior. Is this you, grandfather? Yes, Amelia, it's me. What is this tomfoolery? What are you asking? Is that you? Direct form.
He's not dead.
Doesn't seem like it.
You've kept away long enough, Lizzie, and now you've come. You don't seem overpleased to see me.
You took us by surprise, father. Are you keeping quite well?
And what?
Are you quite well?
I'm right enough, but for a bit of headache. I wouldn't mind betting that I'm not the first in this house to be carried to the cemetery. I always think Henry tell listeners to.
None too healthy. I don't think, I never thought I'll be the first one to die, to be carried to cemetery. Henry doesn't look so good. Mrs. Jordan.
Well, I never.
Abel crosses to the armchair. Henry gets out of his way to the front of the table.
Amelia, what the dickens? Did I do this in my new slippers?
New slippers. New slippers.
Aren't they by the hard grandfather? Hurt grandfather.
Yeah.
I don't see them. Why? You got them on Henry.
Why you got them on, Henry?
Why you got them on?
Yes, now his grandfather couldn't find the slippers. So Mrs. Slater says where it will be near the hearth. And while searching, what does he see? Henry is wearing his new slippers.
I told him to put them on the stretch level. Put them on to stretch level. They were that new and hard. Now, Henry,
Mrs. Slater snatches the slippers from Henry and gives them to Haley, who puts them on and sits in the armchair.
Well, I don't call that delicate. Stepping into a dead man's shoes in such case.
Henry goes up to the window and pulls up the blind. Victoria runs across to Abel and sits on the floor at his feet.
Oh, Grandpa, I'm so glad you're not there.
hold your tongue, Victoria. Hey, what's that? Who's gone dead? Victoria says she's sorry about your head. Thank you, Vicky, but I feel better. He's so fond of Victoria. Yes. Sorry.
Yes, he is so fond of our Jimmy too.
You'd better ask him if he promised that Jimmy is won't watch.
I couldn't just now. Don't feel equal to it.
Why, Ben? You're in mourning, and Lizzie too, and Amelia and Henry and little Vicky. Who's gone dead? It's something in the family. He,
Chuckles in class.
no one you know, father, a relations of Ben. And what relations of Ben? His brother. Hang it, I never had one.
Are,
Arey,
hang it, I never had one.
Had one.
Had
dear, and what was his name, Ben?
Uh,
Frederick.
Albert.
तू बोलता ही
Fed, Isaac.
Isaac? And where did your brother Isaac die?
In Australia.
Dear. He'd be older than you, eh?
Yes, 5 years.
I got to the funeral.
Oh yes. No. No, of course not.
Well, I suppose you've been waiting for me to begin tea. I'm feeling hungry.
I make tea. I will make tea.
Later.
I will make tea.
Later. Little later says, no, I'll make tea.
By a bit 151 to 154.
Oh, I'll make tea. Come along now, sit down and let's be jolly.
Abel sits at the head of the table, facing spectators. Ben and Mrs. Jordan on the left. Victoria brings a chair and sits by Abel. Mrs. Peter and Henry sit on the right. Both the women are next to Abel.
Henry, give Grandpa some pie. Thank you. I'll make a start.
Henry, okay. Henry serves the pie. Mrs. Peter pours out the tea. Only Abel eats with any heartiness. वो खुशी से खा रहा है बाकी सब ऐसे नाराज हो गए क्यों मना नहीं ना बुढ़ा that is how the reaction is right they wanted him to die because nobody wanted to take his responsibility so he used to go out probably have fun drink come out he was a jolly fun fellow so that children were probably
उसने इतना मेहनत किया जब वो छोटे बच्चे थे अभी देखो वही बच्चे उनको मार रहे glad to see you have got an appetite Mr. Merriweather although you have not been so well.
Nothing serious. I've been lying down for a bit. Been to sleep, grandfather? No, I've not been to sleep.
Oh,
I can't exactly call everything to mind, but I remember I was a bit dazed, like I couldn't move an inch, hand or a foot.
and could you see and hear Mr. Merriweather?
Yes, but I don't remember seeing anything in particular. Mustard bell.
he asks for mustard Ben passes the mustard
Of course not, grandfather. It was all your fancy. You must have been asleep. I tell you, I was in sleep, Amelia. I ought to know.
But didn't you see Henry or Amelia come into the room?
Now let me think. I wouldn't press him, Elizabeth. Don't press him.
I wouldn't worry him.
I began. Amelia and Henry, what the devil did you mean by shifting my bureau out of my bedroom?
Oh,
Did you hear me, Henry, Amelia?
What bureau was that, father?
Why my bureau? The one I bought.
Was it that one, father?
Ah, that's it. What's it doing here, eh?
The clock on the mantelpiece strikes 6. Everyone looks at it.
Drat me if this isn't my clock too. What's the devil been going in this house?
well, I'll be hanged.
I will tell you that what's been going on in this house. Father, nothing short of robbery.
Be quiet, Elizabeth.
I will not be quiet on. Oh, I call it double-faced.
No, Elizabeth.
And you too. Are you such a poor creature that you must do every dirty thing she tells you?
Yes.
Remember where you are, Elizabeth.
Come, no quarreling.
My wives,
My wife's every right to speak her own mind.
Then she can speak it outside. Not here. Oh, damn it all. Will someone tell me what's been going on?
Yes, I will. I will not see you robbed.
Who's been robbing me?
Amelia and Henry.
Arey, this is Jordan.
Yes, I will.
Amelia and Henry.
Amelia and Henry, they have stolen your watch and bureau.
Clock.
Clock and bureau. They sneak into your room like thieves in the night and stole them after you were dead.
Hush. Quiet, Elizabeth. I will not
I
stop.
will not stop. After you were dead, I say.
After, who was dead?
You.
But I'm not dead.
But but if they thought you were.
Oh, so that's why you were all in black today. You thought I was dead. That was a big mistake.
So we
Grandfather, it didn't take you long to start dividing my things between you.
No, Father.
miss.
This is Jordan.
And what was it, father?
No, father, you mustn't think that. Amelia was simply getting hold of them.
Think that Amelia was simply getting hold of them on her own account.
You always were a clean one, Amelia. I suppose you thought the bill wasn't fair.
Did you make a will?
Arey, read it properly na.
Yes, it was locked up in the bureau.
Mrs. Jordan.
And what was in it, father?
That doesn't matter now. I'm thinking of destroying it and making another. Grandfather, do not be hard on me. I'll trouble you for another cup of tea, Amelia. 2 lumps and a plenty of milk. With pleasure, grandfather. I don't want to be hard on anyone. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Since your mother died, I've lived part of the time with you, Amelia, and a part with you, Lizzie. Well, I shall make a new will, giving all my bits of the things to whoever I'm living with when I die. How does that strike you?
It's a bit of lottery.
And do you intend to live with from now?
I'm just coming to that.
You know, father, it's quite some time that you came to live with us again. We would make you very comfortable.
No, he's not been living with us as long he was with you.
I may be wrong, but I don't think father will fancy living on with you after what's happened today.
So, you'd like to have me again, Lizzie?
You know, we have,
We are
we already
We are ready for you to make your home with us.
for as long you please.
What do you say on that, Amelia? All I can say is that Elizabeth's changed her mind in the last 2 years. Grandfather, do you know what the quarrel between us was about?
Amelia, don't be a fool, sit down.
No. If I'm not to have it, you shan't either. We quarreled because Elizabeth said she wouldn't take you off our hands at any price. She said she had enough of you to last a lifetime and we'd got to keep you. It seems to me that neither of you has any cause to feel proud about the way you treated me. If I have done anything wrong, I'm sure I'm sorry for it.
And I can't say more than that too.
It's a bit late to say now. You neither of you care to put up with me. No, grandfather. Hey, you both say that because of what I've told you about taking my money. Well, since you don't want me, I'll go someone who does.
Come, Mr. Merriweather. You have got to live with one of your daughters.
I'll tell you what I've got to do. On Monday next, I've got to do 3 things. I've got to go to the lawyers and alter my will, and I've got to go to the insurance office and pay my premium, and I've got to go St. Philip's Church and get married.
What?
Oh, what?
Get married.
He's out of his senses. I say I'm going to get married. Who to? To Mrs. John Sherlock, who keeps the Ringo bells. We've had it fixed up for a good while now, but I was keeping it as a pleasant surprise. I felt I was a bit of burden to you, so I found someone who think it's a pleasure to look after me. We shall be very glad to see you at the ceremony. Till Monday, then 12 o'clock at St. Philip's Church. It's a good thing you brought the bureau downstairs, Amelia. It'll be handier to carry across the rainbow bridge on Monday.
He goes up. A curtain call.
अरे शादी कर रहा
ये तो अलग ही है।
कहाँ से कहाँ चली गई
William Stanley Houghton was a famous English dramatist. He was one of the best of a group of realistic playwrights, often called the Manchester School. In every play, he sought to present an idea. He had a remarkable gift for dialogue that is evident in The Dear Departed. The Dear Departed was first produced in Manchester in 1908. Here often satirizes the degradation of moral values in the British middle class. So you understood what happened here? So he was staying with Amelia. Okay. This is later, right? And this is later one day, Mrs. Later found she called him and he did not wake up. So she thought he's dead. The minute she thought he's dead, she took his newspapers, asked her husband Henry to wear them. She took his bureau down so that she took her mantelpiece, the watch, okay, or the clock also. Why did she do that? Because she did not want her sister to get these things. Okay, so she did not want to share whatever her father had left equally with her sister. So before her sister comes, she does all this. Then they all wear black clothes and wait for her sister to arrive. After that, when they arrive, they start arguing about what they will write in the obituary, whether it should be a poem. Then they think that poem is too expensive, so let's not write a poem, let's write something short. And then they suddenly realize that father had gone wrong. So they wonder whether he had gone out to pay the insurance money. So because he has paid the premium, then once he dies, they will get the insurance, okay, death insurance. Then the daughter, Victoria, she tells no, he had gone to Ringo Bell. What was the Ringo Bell?
Oh,
A public house. So they get upset. This older going to public house, not paying the insurance. Are we going to benefit anything? So they wanted only for money. They wanted his father only for the money. And then they suddenly see that the father comes down from his stairs. Gets up and comes down. When he comes down, they both were naturally shocked, disappointed. Right? ये कहाँ से आ गया? ये तो मरा हुआ था. So he says, no, he was not dead. He was little dizzy. He couldn't move. He was fast asleep probably. And then they start arguing. Then father asked, why is the chest down? Why is his watch down? Why is Henry wearing the slippers? And then the bureau. So the sister says that they were trying to steal from. That's right. And then what does he say? He says he's going to alter the will. And what does he decide? Who will get the whole money?
Mrs. John.
No. The person who was in whose house he dies. Okay. The person in whose house he dies will get the entire money. So now both the sisters start fighting. Who will keep the farm? Okay. Earlier both the sisters were fighting to not keep the farm. Because Mrs. Jordan and Mrs. Taylor had big fight 3 years ago. Mrs. Jordan had said that father had been staying for a very long time and she's had him for a lifetime. Bahut ho gaya. Now Mrs. Slater should keep him. And for that they had a big fight. Now both the sisters started fighting who would keep father. Why? Because of the change in the will. Does father agree with whom he should stay? No. Father wanted to stay with whom?
Mrs. John Shorrock.
Okay, who was she?
The Ringo Bell. Who keeps the Ringo Bell?
Okay, the keeper of the Ringo Bell.
Owner of.
Yes, the keeper of the Ringo Bell, maybe the manager of the Ringo Bell or the keeper. So keeper of the Ringo Bell. And they decide to marry where?
Saint Philip Church.
St. Philip's Church. We will come to attend the ceremony. And thanks for bringing the chest, the bureau down, because it will be easy to take this bureau out from the Ringo Bell. This is I realized both of you didn't want to look after me, so I would rather live with the person who wants to look after. That's the story. Interesting man, no? Right? Let's do this. Choose the option that gives the correct meaning of the word delicate as used in the above line.
B. Easily broken or damaged.
Yes.
I don't know, no. Read the passage first.
Oh,
Read the passage first.
very fine and structured.
What is this?
Skillful and finely judged.
No, it should be tactful and considerate.
And
It's not a very tactful and considerate stepping into dead man's shoes in such a haste. You know, समझा नहीं सोचा नहीं कि वो आदमी मर गया immediately उसके चप्पल उठा भी लिए वो आदमी मरा नहीं कि उसकी चप्पल that is not very tactful and considerate. Man is dead. Let it be. Complete the following analogy correctly by using the word from the extract. New, antique, dash, old.
Older.
Is there a word old?
no.
Then why delay and old?
New.
अरे
New होना चाहिए ना.
वो तो क्या
new is antique.
Oh, new. New लिखा.
Hard.
Haste.
Make haste, yeah, maybe it's such a haste. Haste and delay. See ये opposite words है new, antique. New के opposite antique, पुराना. So किसके opposite is delay? Haste. Make haste means जल्दी करना. Be in a hurry. And we see that I have answering objectives here. What is the name of the
Yeah, departed.
He actually did not get it.
Wrong. एक नया काम करना.
too long उससे थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग करना चाहिए था.
छोटा चैप्टर.
आगे ही सब
छोटा.
छोटा चैप्टर है. पहले दिन तो तू ही बोल रहा था मुझ पर है.
It's a big one, but
हाँ. नहीं. इसलिए तो हुआ था कुछ भी. सच में हुआ वो. हाँ बस.
अच्छे से उसमें बुक्स है.
हाँ.
हाँ.
ऐसा लग रहा है.
बुक्स की खोल के देखो बस
बुक से कि बुक है?
बुक्स
बुक है।
बुक्स
बुक है।
हाँ
बुक है।
है
तो मेरी है। मेरा आज के भाई नहीं तो एक हफ्ते
एकदम मोटी
Try doing the first jumbled order now. Done?
नहीं
Let's do this. Question 2 from page 158. हो गया? In the correct order.
Question 2.
Question 2.
Are we pinching it before Aunt Elizabeth comes?
What does it refer to?
And which question? Second, next.
What does she ask?
इसका टू
ये boy.
वो क्या बोलते हैं हाँ हीरो
Look,
Bureau, no? They were bringing it down, no?
हम तो clock भी लाए थे.
लेकिन वो ब्यूरो लेके आ रहे थे ना तभी she says this.
Oh,
So it refers to
हीरो
bureau that belong to grandfather. Okay. Write it there only, no? Bureau that belong to grandfather. Textbook में ही लिख दो. Hello. Write in the textbook. B-U-R-E-A-U. Bureau. Bureau that belong to grandfather Abel Merrill. How does Vicky conclude that her parents are pinching it?
the parents were bringing the bureau to the
down to the main hall
main hall from
Without his consent.
consent.
The bureau belonged to grandfather. The parents were bringing it down to their
room
room, to their, what is it called?
hall
What is the word here?
hall
Okay, so the bureau belonged to grandfather and her parents were bringing it out of his, down to their room without grandfather's consent. Okay, thus she concluded that they were binging it. The bureau belonged to grandfather. and they were taking the bureau out of his room. They were taking the bureau out of his room without grandfather's consent. लिखा क्या? Mention the two reasons that Mrs. Slater gives for her action. What does Mrs. Slater say to that?
First, there would be her sister would see and would ask it so she could take it to her home.
If her sister knew that she wanted that thing, so she will argue for that. She will not
Yes.
give.
So if her sister comes to know, she would argue and not give her the bureau. And she liked the bureau a lot.
What does it mean about the difference between the attitude of the elders and that of Vicky? Vicky was the child. So
Elderly child.
she did not.
Vicky had a strong sense of what is right and what is wrong. Vicky was a sensible girl. She understood what is right and wrong.
Okay.
She was not interested. Vicky had a good sense of what is right and what is wrong. Vicky was not interested in the material things of her grandfather. Vicky was not interested in the material things of grandfather. While elders were only interested in what they can take from grandfather. While the elders were only interested in what they can take from grandfather or Abel, Meriwether, whatever you can say. We mustn't give way. Explain the phrase give way.
Do not give up hope.
Yes, right. Okay. Tell these questions no. ये हम लोग बाद में करेंगे. How does Mrs. Slater plan to outshine the Jordans? What does it reveal about her character?
That she didn't care about her father, but she only cared about his material things. And so she took the bureau and clock out of his room.
How does Mrs. Slater plan to outshine the Jordans?
First, they thought of getting better clothes than
Black clothes.
No.
They decided to get better black clothes.
Then showing off the bureaus, the vodka, the slippers to Mrs. Jordan.
Yes. Before Mrs. Jordan came, she removed the bureau, all the precious things owned by grandfather, like bureau, the clock, and his new slippers, and displayed it in her own house. Displayed it in her own house. Why does Mrs. Slater decide to shift the bureau from grandfather's room before? Yes.
So what is the answer of what does it reveal about her character?
What does it reveal about her character? She was a self-centered person, did not care about the death of her own father, self-centered and materialistic person. Self-centered and materialistic person, did not care about death of her own father. Right, at least that last part. Self-centered and materialistic person. What boring questions are these? I'm trying to look if there are some interesting, good questions. Okay. Why does Mrs. Slater decide to bring? Why does Mrs. Slater decide to shift the bureau from grandfather's room before the arrival of Jordan?
Because if they kept it in his room, the both of the sisters would fight for it,
And she had liked it.
So the bureau was a new purchase, and it was an attractive piece.
Hadn't
And
made me of that.
Mrs. Slater liked it a lot. It was a new piece of furniture. It was very attractive. Mrs. Slater liked it a lot. She did not wish to share it with her sister, and had her sister uh, that's it. It was a new piece. It was very attractive. Mrs. Slater liked it and always wanted it. Always wanted the new piece, and she did not wish to share it with her sister, and therefore she removed it. And before Mrs. Jordan had. What does it show about the two sisters' attitude towards each other?
Mama, how does Henry react to the suggestion?
Okay, how does Henry react to the suggestion? Yeah. Sorry. How does Henry react to the suggestion?
Too heavy. It was too heavy to carry now.
Henry was initially reluctant, no? And asked her to share it with her sister. Henry was reluctant. What will you say?
याद नहीं
याद नहीं
तो हम सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं ना उसको।
क्या?
जो
Henry was reluctant to move and he wanted his wife, he wanted Mrs. Slater to share the assets, share grandfather's things equally with her sister. Henry was like, "Sir, why do you want to take? Share it equally." So Henry was reluctant to shift the bureau. He wanted his wife. Henry was reluctant to shift the bureau. He wanted his wife to share grandfather's property equally with his sister, with her sister. Henry wanted Mrs. Slater to share grandfather's possessions equally with her sister. What is the reason for the Jordans taking a long time to get to the house of the sister?
They were trying to dress better.
Yes. So, Jordans took a long time
Since they wanted to dress better than the
because they had to arrange for the mourning dresses for themselves. Outshine the Slaters. So they had to arrange the mourning dresses for themselves. Arrange the mourning dresses for themselves. And Mrs. Jordan probably got it stitched. And Mrs. Jordan probably got it stitched. Therefore, she got late. alteration करके आने को time लगा. Mrs. Jordan probably got it stitched. What does it show about the two sisters' attitude towards each other? Towards each other?
Aggression.
That shows the rivalry. That shows the rivalry between the two sisters. The two sisters did not like each other. The two sisters did not like each other. And what would you say?
They used to fight against the grandfather's position.
And they constantly fought. And they constantly fought over petty, that is small matters.
Petty.
Petty means small, unimportant. EY. They constantly fought over petty issues. What does Mrs. Jordan describe as a fatal mistake?
Death of the father.
No. What is the fatal mistake? Oh no, it's a fatal mistake, she says. Not calling the doctor. Not calling the doctor to examine if grandfather was dead. Not calling the doctor to examine if grandfather was dead. As a fatal mistake. What is the irony in the comment she makes?
हम आयरन तो पोयम में रहते हैं तो
हाँ, ये हाँ, मगर यहाँ ये इसमें आयरनी क्या है?
दिखना चाहिए था कि उनके पप्पा मरे जिसकी वजह से
वो डिफेंस थोड़े
चलो,
that
we'll
she
do
did
this
call the
next time.
doctor.
We'll do this next time. We'll simplify the questions, some of the questions, and I'll give you, you'll write it in the notebook then. Okay? Right.
Thank you, Lord.
Bye.
Thank you, Lord.
Did they do this in school?
We are doing chapter.
Which chapter?
Third chapter. नहीं fourth chapter. जी लेटर की बात कर रहे हैं.
If this gets finished, we'll do the graded monument, the poem after this. Because in some schools they started with this, so I thought we'll start this.